Okay, here we are. I've made a plate out of fiberglass, so I don't think it'll melt. I put some holes in. They're not exactly accurate, but they will work. And I have my wiring and a battery, and I also have the transformer hooked up to the heater so that we can generate some smoke and just see if I pulse the fan, what will the smoke do. This is very crude, just couldn't wait, built this part, wanted to test it, so we're testing it. This is a test. I haven't printed the real live plate for the top plate. I just made this out of hacking. Okay, now this will get testy for me because I have to use one hand and blah blah blah. Oh wait, maybe I can get smarter on this. I can do it this way. Oh yes, I can. I'm gonna jumper in my battery so I won't be so harried when I try to hook this up. I'm not going to be able to check my direction, but I don't think it'll matter. I think this will work. Now, I did test it, so I know it works. Hear that noise? That's the fan inside. Now I'm going to turn on the heater. You'll see what's going on here. I'm going to take it up to about 10 volts, which isn't that much really. And now I'm going to hit the fan. Yes, it's leaking. Don't say anything. Chuff, 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 chuff. Don't have a stack on it, so it just hangs. Chuff, 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 chuff. We're highballing now. Coming in. Alright, now, probably running out of oil. I don't want to burn anything up. Okay, that's the test. Now, where we can go with this is I can just seeing if there's any smoke left. Is I can build this frame, finish the lid, get the parts, and this would work in a Atlantic, and I also have tested the fit with an Atlantic and a Pacific. I think it'll work with a K5, 283, 293, possibly the Hudson, and possibly the Northern. But I still need to do some messing around with some dimensions and adjustments. I had to add a 5mm spacer here to get past the motor, so the motor wasn't touching the frame. I put a little tape down there to insulate it. But all in all, it's doing better than I expected, actually. I wish I had enough of the right parts. These little screws, you can't find them, and all kinds of things. Now, the other piece that I'm working on is the firebox. This is my really trying to make it pretty firebox, and I'm hoping that this one will be nice and stiff and straight and will fit in where everything else is going to fit and be pretty. And then I'm going to convert one of these other Atlantics. I've done a conventional Atlantic conversion. You saw that running, where I just put in the gear. I put in the gear and added the old smoke and the rod and did all of that and made it run, and the firebox behind that. So that was kind of the low level. Now I'm going to add my fan gizmo to one that did not have a fan on it. The challenges I'm running into is I find these chassis, which are Pacific style chassis with no smoke, but they also don't have any holes. They just have two little holes for the headlight and some other stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, what can I do with this? So it's a real challenge what I can come up with this particular chassis. But I'm going to stick with what I have. I have several of these, several of the K5s with this hole but no gear, and so I'm going to go together with that, and we'll see. There's the flywheel put in place. If I need to, I could easily do this to any of these engines, so I could have smoke and the flywheel, and that would give me the pulses. Or, and what I think I can do with this one is I can tie this engine back to a tender that I already have with the reed switch, and bring the reed switch in, connect the engine to this, see if it runs and everything, and then put it on the track and actually have the reed switch firing the fan as the transformer feeds through the track up to the smoke house, and see how that would look. I would try to get a more proper lid manufactured. I have it, I just didn't make it. I was building the other thing. I can only build so much with my toy printer. And then see if I can relocate and move it around and do some other stuff. But I am extremely encouraged to have a fan smoke unit to add to flyer units. We just don't have enough of these housings around to convert everybody if we wanted to. So I'm thinking I'm going to have a housing that I can fit in here, but I don't. And then if they don't have the gear, or if they don't have the housing to hold the gear, how do I get the pulses to the smoke? So I'm trying to come up with a way of doing pulses, either off of a motor with an adapter. The easiest way is through the tender with the magnet, and I'll show you how that'll work. So you could do a magnet pulsing, you could get puff and chuff, and then of course if we get our PC boards going and our speakers, we can tie all that together so you get the chuff sound and the puff of smoke. And then I was thinking of a way, if I could determine reverse backup and trigger the bell for reverse, you wouldn't even need any buttons on the machine. You could have sound and smoke and the flicker fire on a real stupid cheap engine. Now, who cares? I don't know. I think it's fun, but I may be nuts. Okay, I'm going to post this on YouTube because it took too damn long. Later.